All right, so today we're doing something a little different. We're going deep on an English language learning video.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from YouTube.
Okay.
And I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Where are the health insights in that?
Hmm.
But that's kind of the fun of the deep dive,
Mhm.
right? You never know where you're going to find something.
Exactly.
So in this video, we've got these two speakers, and we'll call one of them Sweaty.
Okay.
And they're just kind of chatting about daily life, and they touch on some really interesting health habits.
Interesting.
So Sweaty, she describes her morning routine, and she's really dedicated to it.
Okay.
Like she wakes up at 6:50 a.m. every day on the dot,
Wow.
makes tea irons her clothes very structured.
Huh.
So do you think there's like a psychological benefit to being that routine driven?
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of research that suggests that having a consistent routine can really impact your brain chemistry.
Really?
Yeah, things like cortisol. Our stress hormone tends to be much more regulated when we have predictable patterns in our day.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's like our brains thrive on a sense of order.
So even just like sticking to a morning routine can really impact our stress levels.
Yeah, it can be surprisingly powerful.
Huh. I never thought about it that way.
And another thing that Sweaty really emphasizes is drinking warm water first thing in the morning.
Right.
She says she never forgets this step.
Yeah, they both seem to believe in the benefits of warm water.
Mm-hmm.
But is there any science to back that up, or is it more of a traditional belief?
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
There's some evidence that suggests that warm water can actually aid digestion
Okay.
by stimulating gastric juices and increasing blood flow to the digestive tract.
So it's not just an old wives' tale.
Not entirely, no.
Okay.
Some studies have also looked at the potential benefits of warm water for reducing muscle tension, improving circulation, which could contribute to relaxation.
I see.
But I will say we need more research to confirm some of the bolder claims you might see online.
Right, so there's at least some scientific basis for it,
Yeah.
but maybe take some of those online health claims with a grain of salt.
Yeah, exactly. A balance between traditional wisdom and evidence-based practices.
All right, so let's move on to breakfast.
Okay.
Sweaty has oatmeal with fruit and nuts.
Sounds delicious.
The video also mentions that typical American breakfasts are lighter during the week, like eggs and cereal.
Right.
Are we missing out by not having these like huge, elaborate breakfasts that you see in other cultures?
It's so interesting how breakfast traditions vary so widely
Yeah.
from country to country. I mean, in some parts of the world, breakfast is like a multi-course affair.
Right.
And in other places, it's a quick bite on the go.
Yeah.
There's really no one-size-fits-all.
I guess it's more about listening to your body and what works for you.
Absolutely.
But speaking of food preferences,
Okay.
I have to ask about this. They get into a little debate about pineapple on pizza. So Sweaty's all for it. Her friend is not so convinced.
You know what
I'm Team Sweaty, but why do you think this sparks such strong reactions from people?
I think it goes beyond just taste buds.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about it, pizza toppings, they often become symbolic of deeper cultural values,
I'm interested.
personal experiences.
Right.
Like pineapple on pizza is often seen as a more adventurous choice.
Right.
So the debate might reflect a clash between traditional and modern culinary perspectives.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it's not just about the pineapple. It's
Right.
about what it represents.
Deeper than that.
Yeah, food is rarely just about sustenance.
Okay.
It's tied to our identities, our memories, our sense of belonging.
All right, moving on from the great pineapple debate.
Okay.
They also chat about snacking during movies.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of our listeners can relate to that.
I know I can.
Popcorn is their go-to, the classic.
Of course.
But how do we navigate those tempting snacking situations when we're trying to be mindful of our health?
It's all about finding a balance and being aware of those mindless eating habits. We often snack out of boredom or because it's a ritual, not because we're actually hungry.
That's so true.
Yeah,
Is there a way to break those habits or at least make healthier choices?
absolutely. One helpful strategy is to pre-portion your snacks.
Got
So instead of mindlessly munching from a giant bag of chips,
Right.
put a small serving in a bowl.
Okay.
Simple trick, but it can make a big difference in preventing overeating.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
Okay, so they also talk about spice tolerance.
All right.
Sweaty's trying to reduce her intake of spicy food for digestive reasons,
Mm-hmm.
and the other speaker avoids it too.
Interesting.
But isn't there some research that suggests that spicy food can actually be good for you?
There is, yeah, and it's quite fascinating.
Okay.
Spicy foods contain a compound called capsaicin,
Mm-hmm.
which has been shown to have anti-inflammatory properties and even boost metabolism.
Ah,
However, the key is moderation.
right.
For some people, especially those with sensitive stomachs, Too much spice can lead to digestive discomfort.
So it really depends on the individual.
Exactly.
That's not one size fits all.
Not at all. And our spice tolerance can change over time, too.
Really?
Yeah, things like stress, gut health. Even our exposure to different cuisines can influence how we react to spicy food.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's all about listening to your body and adjusting your diet accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this next one is interesting. Sweaty's on a personal mission to try fish and chips from every hotel and city she visits.
Wow.
Yeah, London is her favorite so far. But she's determined to find the best fish and chips out there.
I love that.
I know, me too.
That dedication.
It speaks to our desire to explore new tastes and experiences, right?
Absolutely.
And fish and chips can vary so much depending on where you are.
Yeah, it's a simple dish, but it can have a real cultural twist.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the food itself. It's about the memories and the experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of memories, Sweaty also shares some really heartwarming stories about her family meals. Sounds like her mom was an amazing cook and always prioritized home-cooked meals.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so those shared meals are so much more than just sustenance, right?
That there are opportunities to connect.
Yeah.
Pass down traditions, create memories.
I love that there's something special about gathering around the table and sharing a meal with people you care about.
Absolutely. And it's not just sentimental either.
Oh.
Research shows that regular family meals are linked to a host of benefits.
Like what?
Improved dietary habits,
Okay.
reduced risk of obesity, even better mental health outcomes for children.
Wow, I didn't realize the impact was that profound.
It really underscores the importance of making time for those shared meals.
Yeah.
It's an investment in your family's well-being.
Okay, now on to a topic I think many of us can relate to.
Oh,
Processed foods.
yeah.
So they acknowledge the negative health impacts, but admit they struggle to resist them sometimes.
It's a classic dilemma.
Why is that?
Well, you see, ultra-processed foods are often engineered to be hyper-palatable. They're loaded with sugar, salt, fat,
Right.
which triggers the release of dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward.
So we're literally wired to crave these foods.
In a way, yes. Our brains are wired to seek out calorie-dense foods, which, was really beneficial for survival back in the day.
Right.
But in today's world where highly processed foods are everywhere, these cravings can lead to overconsumption and health problems.
So how do we break free from that? Is it even possible?
It's definitely challenging, but not impossible.
Okay.
One key is to become more aware of the marketing tactics that food companies use to make these products so appealing.
Okay.
They use misleading labeling, carefully crafted advertising campaigns
Yeah,
to create that illusion of healthiness.
that's true. I've fallen for that before.
Yeah.
But what else can we do besides being more aware of the marketing?
Well, another strategy is to focus on crowding out those processed foods
Okay.
with healthier options. Make sure your pantry and fridge are stocked with whole foods.
Right.
Fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds.
Okay.
When you have nutritious options readily available,
Yeah,
you're less likely to reach for those processed snacks.
that's a good point.
Yeah, and maybe it's also about changing our mindset around food.
Yeah.
Instead of viewing healthy eating as a chore, we can focus on the positive aspects, like how good it makes us feel.
Absolutely. Food should be nourishing and enjoyable, not a source of guilt or stress.
Exactly.
Speaking of enjoyment,
Okay.
they also discuss this anecdote about someone they know who lost weight without exercising just by focusing on eating at the right times.
Interesting.
What do you make of that? Is there any science behind the idea that timing matters when it comes to weight loss?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It sounds almost too good to be true.
Yeah, it's not quite as simple as like, eat whenever you want, just make sure it's within this specific window.
Okay.
But there is growing research on the concept of time-restricted feeding. The idea is that aligning our eating patterns with our natural circadian rhythms
Right.
can have a positive impact on our metabolism and weight management.
So our bodies might be more efficient at processing food at certain times of day.
Exactly. You see our metabolism hormone levels and even our gut microbiome.
Got
They
it.
fluctuate throughout the day.
Okay.
And these fluctuations are influenced by our internal biological clock, which is known as the circadian rhythm.
Right.
So eating late at night, for example, when
Yeah.
our metabolism is naturally slowing down, might not be as beneficial as eating earlier in the day.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So it's not just about what we eat, but when we eat.
Exactly. It's about taking a more holistic approach to health,
Okay.
considering not just the food, but our lifestyle, sleep patterns, even our stress levels.
Right. It really is a complex interplay of factors.
It is.
And speaking of sleep, Sweaty briefly explains the body's sleep-wake cycle. and how sleep is essential for cell repair. I know it sounds obvious, but we all need those reminders sometimes.
We do, and there's so much more to it than just feeling rested.
Right.
During sleep, our bodies go through a series of essential processes, including muscle repair, hormone regulation, memory consolidation.
Then we're not just lying there doing nothing.
No, our bodies are hard at work repairing and